Hi everyone, hope you're well. Again, thanks to those of you who engaged with the work last week. Slightly disappointing numbers this week in terms of who's completed the assignment. So again, very well done for those of you who did do it, but if you haven't, please just make sure that you do have a go at it and you make sure to attempt the tasks. Well, I appreciate there's different circumstances and you might have something going on, and that's absolutely fine, but if you just let us know so that we're aware and we can support you if you need it. But the most important thing is to try not and fall too far behind. It does look like we're going to be working from home for at least the next month, so it is important that you try to stay on top of the work, because the last thing we want is for you to end up feeling overwhelmed or feeling like you've fell behind. So having said that, this week's work, you may be happy to know that there is going to be no new content in it. So we're going to take a wee break this week, not completely, but a wee break from any new content, and we're going to use this week as a consolidation week. The reason for this is because we want to make sure that you're happy with everything that we've done so far, but it's also designed to give any of you who haven't been engaging with the work an opportunity to spend the week catching up so that you can feel better about things. So for this week, it's not that we're not giving you any work, we're just going to change it slightly. So just a reminder how you find it. We're in Files, Particle and Waves Materials, and I haven't put it in yet, but it's going to be a folder on its own saying Consolidation Week. And essentially what this week's work, I'll show you in my files. Okay, so this week's work, nice and short one, is going to be ensuring that you've completed all the tasks from the past 3 weeks. So do you have complete notes for each of the key areas? Have you marked all your work using the solutions? Have you asked for help with any difficult areas? So I know a lot of you have been completing the assignments, but if you haven't got 100% or you've maybe got the same area wrong a couple of times, have you asked for help with that area before you move on? If you haven't, it's certainly not too late. So have a look through everything you've been doing and make sure you're happy with it. The only other thing we're going to ask you to do this week is we're going to give you an assignment, but it's not like the assignments you've done the last couple of weeks. It's a bit more like a past paper assignment than just a multiple choice quiz. So quite a lot of work involved in it, but again, that's to kind of tie in with the fact that there's not any new content. We're also going to try out something new. We're going to try and use Class Notebook. Thank you to those of you who completed the little survey. We can see that some of you have used it and are happy with it. Some have used it, I'm not too sure, and some of you have never used it. So we've got a mix here. I'll be honest, folks, we haven't used it much ourselves, so this is kind of new to us. So for those of you that have used it, please keep us on track if we're doing it wrong, or if you can think of a way that your other subjects do it better. But we're going to try and use Class Notebook for this assignment this week. So if you haven't used it before, what you do is you go into Teams, and depending if you're on a PC or an iPad, you may have a tab up the top that says Class Notebook, or on the iPad, for me, it's in More, Next Assignments, and you've got Class Notebook in here. Now, when you click on that, if you've used it before, it'll normally take you to the app and it'll open up. Or if you haven't used it before, it'll ask you to install the app for Class Notebook. Okay, so really would be helpful if you did that. And the idea of us using this is to make your life a little bit easier as well. So when it appears for you, you'll get a slightly different screen from what I have, but you should see that you get a little folder with some different sections in it. Okay, so I've got a few notebooks here. You might have them for your different subjects. So we're looking for Higher Physics 2020 to 2021. Once you go in, now I've obviously got everyone's folders here, but you should just have your own. And you should see that there's 3 folders: Particles and Waves, the yellow one, the red one, Week 4 assignment, and then a blue one using the Contents Library. What I would like you to look at for this week is Week 4 assignment. So if I click into that, we should now see that there are 7 pages being added to this section. Okay, and I've got 7 questions I would like you to complete this week. Now, it's not multiple choice because it is really important that myself and Mr. McFarlane can see how well you're doing with the work, and it's more like an exam where we can see you're working, rearranging equations, whether you've got units and things. So if I look at question 1, straightforward equation question, and the reason we're using class notebook is for recording your response. You will see that the question is there, but then there is an area underneath. Now, I would not advise anyone to type their response. It's going to be more trouble than it's worth because of the equations. However, what you can do is 2 things. If you have a stylus, so like a pen or a pencil that you can draw on an iPad with, if you go to draw up the top and then the pen, it will allow you to do your working straight onto the screen. Okay, now I appreciate not everyone's going to have a pen to do that, so don't worry if you don't, but if you do, I would probably think that's the easiest way for you to answer the questions. So just work it as normal, but using your pen on it. If you don't have that, then don't worry. What I would advise you to do is to do your work in your jotter or on paper as normal. And then if you go to insert and click onto it, it will allow you to hit camera, which allows you to take a photograph. So obviously I've not got much here, but say that was my work. And it inserts the photograph right into the question. So you would just take a picture of your jotter and it would automatically just put that underneath the question. Now, what this means is that we can go in to your folders, see what your answer is for each question, mark it. And when we mark it, you can see it as we're marking it. So you're going to get feedback as soon as we mark it into each of these questions. It also means that we can see how you're getting on with the questions, because basically, if you start writing an answer to one of them and I go in and check, I can see you writing your answer or uploading the pictures. So I think that's the benefit of class notebook, is that it would kind of be like in the classroom where we'd be able to go around and monitor to see how you're getting on with questions and maybe point you in the right direction if you're struggling. The easiest way to do this seemed to be putting a question in each page, so that you don't end up getting confused with where your picture is and, you know, the formatting if you add another picture, and it gets a wee bit messy. So we found that the best way to do this was to have a page for each question and you can write your answers in. Now this one, for example, question 6 is a using your knowledge of physics question. So for this one, you might just want to type your answer in there. So that's absolutely fine. Okay. So for next Sunday, we would like all 7 questions attempted, please. And this is going to give us a really good piece of evidence to see how you're doing with the content so far. Again, just like every other week, it is not a test. So if you do need help with anything, or if you come across the questions and you're not sure how to do them, then please ask for help. Most of these questions are past paper questions, so they are going to be fairly tricky. So again, take your time and make sure you don't leave it all to the Sunday night and rush it. Okay, folks, so like I say, this week, no new content, just consolidation, but really looking forward to seeing you have a go at these questions and see how you're coping. So we'll have another couple of drop-in sessions this week. We'll let you know about the times as soon as possible. And again, please, if there's anything that you need help with, if there's any circumstances that mean that you can't complete the work or you're struggling to complete it in time, please just let us know. That's absolutely fine. We'll do our best to kind of work around you as well, but it is important that you just keep talking to us and let us know. Okay, folks, good luck.